How's it going, everyone, and welcome to episode 29 of the Ready Game Fire podcast. I'm your host, Chris Fox, and with me today are Steve.
Hello.
Loz.
Hello.
And Kent is here.
Hello.
And he's leaving the country forever, aren't you?
Bye. Goodbye, Todd.
Bye! Now, I'm looking out the window right now, and all I can see is sun. Well, you can see girls in the bikinis walking past. There's a beach over there. People selling ice creams. Why are you leaving this country to go to Australia?
I'm not really sure.
You don't even know, do you?
Yeah.
You have only been on one episode, haven't you, Ken?
Yes.
But, you've been in our lives for, feels like forever. You've been working in the video game industry here, and I imagine you're moving along to something similar in Australia, right?
Well, I'm going to teach Taekwondo to kids.
Yeah. Similar.
A lot of violent Australians you're going to
There are.
create.
I'm going to make them violent and dangerous.
Trained, yes.
Yeah.
They're going to be lethal.
Yeah, let's teach an island full of criminals how to fight. That's a good idea, isn't it? Seriously, don't tell them I said that, though.
Don't tell Australia you said that.
Don't tell them. Yeah, no, they'll give
a lot of them.
They'll give me the boot.
The boot.
They still do that, don't they, Steve?
Of course they do.
When we asked that Australian when we were all drunk. So, yes, it is with a heavy heart that we introduce to you for the last time Kent Sobey. He will be leaving us very soon, but we might get you on one more before you go, possibly.
Yes.
But that's not the only reason we're doing this episode today. It is the Scary Game Special. Ooh. Or, more importantly, the argument of the effectiveness between scary films and scary games.
Indeed.
Which, Steve, you texted me one day after getting the Dead Space double pack on your PC.
It's a good game.
Scary game. And apologies for the lack of the Nintendo Disco episode. It has been rescheduled, and that will be coming a little way down the line, so apologies for that. But yes, today we talk scary games. But first, it's time for second-hand news.
This is the news.
Michael Fassbender is
Funny name.
starring and producing or co-producing an Assassin's Creed movie.
It's amazing, isn't it?
What did you say?
Did you
Oh,
know?
that's a funny name.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
Fassbender?
Yeah, you're going to go.
Who is he?
He played
Right.
Magneto in
So the guy who also
Can't
played
really see that now.
Magneto
Yeah.
prior to him was a Bender.
The one
and
who's
his
not
name
gay.
is Fassbender.
But whose name sounds gay is...
You're alienating the gay listeners of Ready Game Fire.
Well,
What do you think the G stands for in
I'm not-
RGF? Stands for gay.
I was just pointing out the irony, that's all.
It is ironic that he is called Fassbender, but he's a hetero. And the other one was called
McStraighterland.
Ian McStraighterland, and he loves the cock. Anyway, Fassbender
Right.
to star/produce
Amazing.
an Assassin's Creed movie. Steve, you love
Who's he?
Magneto, and I love Sex Pests, so that's why we both like Michael Fassbender.
Mike said he's too old for it.
Who's he going to play?
I did think
I
that...
said he could play any age, from what I've seen.
Is he going to be Desmond or Altair? Or
We don't know.
they're not released yet,
It's
so
just, that's all the information. He's making an Assassin's Creed film.
He'll
apparently.
be in the hood, though, whoever he is.
in the hood.
Desmond.
In the hood, yeah.
I would like it. I think for a 2-hour movie. Now I know I've always said this about Assassin's Creed, but I think for a 2-hour movie, it would be good if they just didn't bother with any of the Animus Desmond shit, because there's not going to be enough time to cut back and forth
Well,
and
they're going
explain
to,
that. I
Don't
hope not,
worry.
man. Just do a
Just do
period
Altair.
piece. Just do a period
I
piece.
always thought Banderas would be a better fit for Assassin's Creed than...
He's a wee bit old, I think.
Now he is. too
now
old.
you're being... No, come on, Banderas plays any... He's got the chin still.
No, you still think he looks the same as he did in
Assassins.
Desperado because you've just been hearing his voice in all these Shrek movies that you love. But he has aged.
They are brilliant.
He has aged.
Nolan North is acting more and more
He's
these
a bit
days.
chunky though, isn't he?
So if he lost a bit of weight, he'd be the perfect voice.
We don't need no North in anything else.
Why?
Because it's just his voice, isn't it? It's in everything. It's like, I just hear his voice in Assassin's Creed, and I
It'd
just
barely be
hear,
a video game.
I just hear
Nolan North
Nathan
and-
Drake.
I've got
That's
you.
all I hear.
I
But
just hear
swearing
Desmond
a bit more.
because
No, he's Nathan Drake. He's known as Nathan Drake. That's his main role.
But
I've
I don't.
I've
play
never
much
played
on-
Uncharted,
Yeah, same
so
with me. So I'm not.
you can't really call it his main role. I
You
mean,
have played Uncharted the other... What? You can't call it his main role
Well,
because Ken hasn't played Uncharted.
Exactly.
The other
That's-
day you just went, oh yes, I played Uncharted the other day for the first time. It was shit. It
yeah,
was
the
a fucking
multiplayer.
shit game.
It was.
Which Uncharted was that?
I played Uncharted 3, and it was poo.
What was poo about it?
It's just tacked on
Yeah.
tacky crap.
I don't understand what you mean. That doesn't make what's tacked on about it.
You
Something
might-
has to be tacked on to
Hold on.
something. It can't just be
There
all
was
tacked
nothing.
on.
There was nothing innovative about it.
Not everything's got to be innovative, Sarge.
No, but
Just has to be done well.
Not everything's got to
and it
be
does-
spec ops.
you agree
the
with
line.
me? Well,
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Kent and I have both recently played and reviewed Spec Ops: The Line for different publications. You were Jinx, and I was OXCGN.com. You start playing, and the lead character's Nolan North. And at first I was like,
Whoa.
yeah.
I thought that's why you referenced it.
He didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Steve didn't know.
I was just taking
he's-
piss out of Sarge because of what Sarge said earlier when he was like, "It's unequivocally amazing. It's brilliant." Blah blah blah.
I never used the word unequivocally.
Yeah, because you don't use the word unequivocally.
Because I don't know what it means. That's why, Steve. I should have done the accent there, should I?
Could have. If you say it, we could cut Chris out and it makes it sound like he's. But no, the point is, what? No, North's in. That's hilarious. What an amazing coincidence.
But yeah,
I say amazing coincidence. It isn't amazing, is it?
No,
it's always
everything.
yeah, but here's the thing, right? When I started playing, I was like, oh, grown. You know, it's tough to. It kind of takes you out of the experience when you hear Nathan Drake's voice again. But then I realised, you know, no one goes to see a De Niro movie going, oh, not him again. I can't enjoy this movie.
But like, he's not in every movie.
No, he's not in every.
North's in every
No,
fucking
but
game.
it's a
Does he not hold
smaller.
his voice a bit then?
Huh?
Does he not hold his voice at all?
Only in Batman is he?
He,
allowed to.
he does.
Hello, Batman.
I broke my bloody hand. No, he does
Sorry,
change his
it's
voice,
copy
but you forget, like a lot of these games companies are going to hire him and say, "Oh, we just want you to do your regular
Oh,
voice."
so they can get
But
the
he is
recognition of
he's
it.
really versatile because he has been in shit tons of stuff and he can do various voices.
Shadow Complex, he did a really good one in that.
Was he in that song?
Steve's being
he's been in
facetious.
He's been in some shocking games
You've
too.
read-
I was
you've read
actually
his
looking at the list of
bio.
games he's been in
He's
yesterday.
been in everything.
Steve was being a Fassbender when he referenced that just then because he
always
was doing the
being a
normal voice.
Fassbender.
What is this obsession with Nolan North? You want him to be in the movie, in the Assassin's Creed movie? You were looking at a list of his work.
I just.
What's that tattoo on your wrist? Why does it say Nolan forever?
It doesn't say Nolan forever. It says Nathan forever. Can't you read?
I tweeted Nolan North the other day.
Yeah.
I tweeted at Nolan North. I said, Nolan, I wrote your name into my iPad and it auto-corrected it to No Limit North. Apt? Question mark. And well, I didn't get a reply.
It was like, I just get hold of this Twitter account.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
yeah.
we could get the link and he does for us.
Oh, what you mean this?
Hey everybody, it's Nolan North, Nathan Drake from Uncharted, and you're listening to Ready Game Fire. And why wouldn't you? It's awesome.
So you were looking at a list of Nolan North's games the other day, Kent.
Yes.
And
There's lots of them.
is this so you can predict his next movement, so you can be there when he gets there, so you can propose to him or whatever it is you want to do?
I don't want to propose. No.
Want to say hello?
I was hoping we could start off slow. Dinner
Sure.
and a movie.
Speaking of voice actors, I was looking up Jennifer Hale's work today.
Who's she?
She does the voice of Female Shepherd.
Femshep.
And she has done a shitload of games and cartoons and stuff. But just like Nolan North, she's kind of like Fem North.
A little bit.
So yeah, she did the voice of Female Shepherd in Mass Effect, but she also did the voice of Samus Aran in the Metroid Prime trilogy. Hello, my shepherd was called Samus.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Circle of life.
It's not the best one to have, because she didn't say anything in those games.
Yeah,
Silent.
she
must
she's
make,
credited in all
she
three.
must make the noise when she like falls, yeah. Gets shot.
Doesn't she?
Weird, isn't it?
She didn't say anything. Not even in 2 and 3, where there are other people talking.
No, she stays silent.
You don't have to hire another name for that, do you? There you go. Why wouldn't you hire?
We were talking about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I'm rewinding my
Antonio
mind.
Banderas was going to play the role. We agreed.
Well, he's already cast. Fassbender's already cast.
Yeah, no, but he can play.
That
Like,
always-
he can play the Pope.
Fassbender
Yeah.
is a great age because he's got a good-looking chin. Now he might be too old, but he's got a good-looking chin, and that's all we're going to see.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's
thinking
true,
as
with
well.
that massive hood.
Yep.
Well,
Nose on
it
the
depends who he's playing, because I mean, if he's doing Ezio,
He fits
I
for
mean,
it, yeah. Although
there was a whole. Actually, I'll tell you as well. There's whole bits of them where they're quite old.
I think
So-
it'll be
Spoilers.
Altair, won't it?
Well,
Fassbender can do it all.
I hope so. Altair is my favourite, just in terms of his costume. It makes a lot more sense than the announcement of the Shadow of the Colossus movie.
Yeah, it
That
does.
as well,
who's that guy who makes all those video games movies? Like he did.
Yui Boll.
Yeah.
Or
Let's
Uwe
hope
Boll.
let's
hope
hope
he
he gets
does it.
involved, because then it'll be
Let's
amazing.
hope he doesn't. I want to see a decent one.
Gibson, game director.
Mel.
He's a good director.
Yeah. Did you guys see Prince of Persia?
Yes,
It was gash.
I enjoyed it.
With
But Gibson didn't.
What a surprise!
It wasn't great.
Oh yeah,
but
just
it
remind
wasn't that bad.
Kent's got terrible movie taste.
Kent has movie taste. We've discussed this. You can't have terrible movie taste.
What's your favourite Terminator?
You have taste, or you
What's your favourite?
have taste.
What's your
Kind of terrible taste.
Or you have no or.
What's your favourite Terminator?
4.
Well, I mean, case closed, really.
2 and 4.
Oh, 2 now. That's
No,
strange.
4's
So go
4's
backing
better.
down.
4's. I'm not backing down.
4's
Oops.
better.
4's cool. 2's good. 1's gooder.
Gooder.
I forget I asked.
3's poop.
You can't talk today. Yeah, 3 is fucking terrible. Well, regardless of what the RGF crew thought about Prince of Persia, it didn't do very well at all, and critics didn't like it, and fans didn't either. And the problem is the plot. It was really confusing.
Yeah, it was a bit
all they need
silly.
to do is to keep it simple. Just keep it simple. Hire some of the choreographers from the Bourne franchises and have
Keep it cheap too.
have Altair just
Yeah, that'd be
just
good.
really simple.
I agree.
You see him do an assassination in the first act, he gets betrayed in the second act, and he gets justice in the third act. That's all you need. No, the sounds of the whole time travelling thing in Prince of Persia, when he's stabbing the dagger into all these, it was just, what was going on? It was stupid. And not even the delightful Gemma Arterton could make me forget that it was shit. And neither could the even more delightful Jake Gyllenhaal.
He is.
No, he's saying something, isn't it?
Exactly.
There's your Altair.
He'd be a good
Gyllenhaal.
actor.
I was about to say that earlier,
Great.
actually, but
Actually, no, he could do the other one. He could do Ezio. He's got a bit of an Ezio
Well,
name.
wasn't Altair or his costume at least in the latest Prince of Persia movie?
He was an unlockable costume in Metal Gear Solid 4 as well.
Oh, really?
Because it was an Easter egg.
Yeah,
and
Snake-
he's in
Snake
Soul
looked
Calibur
great.
5.
Oh, yep, he was.
Is it Ezio or is it Al?
It was Ezio. But actually, like, I can really easily picture Fassbender in the hood. I think he'd look good. I think he's
I
got.
think he'd be wicked in the hood.
Yeah.
You have said it at least 3 times, and it does make you think of something.
No, I said in the
something
hood.
much better.
If I was talking about what you guys were saying, I would have said in the hood.
Yeah, but
You know, we've got the Leprechaun saga, and there's one of them's called Leprechaun in the Hood.
Kidding.
No. And there's Leprechaun in space. Leprechaun goes to space, and there's Leprechaun back to the hood. So it was clearly a
So
successful
they made a
one.
sequel to In the Hood.
Yeah.
They've milked that one, haven't they?
Well, they're rebooting it, aren't they? The WWE are rebooting it with Hornswoggle. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. So, yeah, fingers crossed, obviously, for the Assassin's Creed movie, but, you know, experience teaches us that it's probably not going to be very good. But here's hoping.
He's already condemned it.
I'm not. I want to. I hope it's good. Obviously, you think that I'm really cynical, and I am a little bit cynical and a little bit jaded. But I do hope things are going to be good.
It's just they usually aren't.
And speaking of which, a Deus Ex movie is happening as well.
Is it?
Ooh,
Yeah.
who's in that?
Is
Well-
he going to be as excited as the character in the game?
Oh God.
Fassbender would be a good Deus
Yeah,
Ex character.
Fassbender.
Why doesn't he just be in everything?
Yeah, that question's been asked by many a person.
Are you gay for Fassbender?
Are you gay for Fassbender?
Do you want it?
That sounds like a
Do you wanna
great
be-
just a great website or a T-shirt.
Are you gay?
I'm gay for Fassbender.
No one.
No, are you gay for Fassbender?
Everyone is
Question
in a
mark.
way, aren't they?
I'm bent for No. I'd bend for Fassbender. I'd bend over. Fast.
Fast,
for
yeah. I've been
Fassbender.
fast.
There's the shirt. Okay. Yeah, literally no other details about the Deus Ex movie at the moment. I think this was broken by Eurogamer just before we started recording. But
I probably made it up.
yeah, who could play like a really thin, unlikable dickhead from the future?
Christian
He's
Bale.
cool. He's cool, right?
Christian.
He gets skinny
He can
easily.
play any.
You're right, Christian Bale can play anything.
Well, Adam Jensen.
Oh, what are you? Oh, what
He's got the voice.
Actually, that's
doesn't
a good voice.
He can use his Batman voice.
What do you know? You think you know augmentation's like better than me? Why you think you know not better than me? There's a
It could
50...
be a good film though, if they get it right. I like the idea. I like the game and story. Is it going to be about the first one? Or?
It'll be the first one, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. Why am I saying that? Might be a new one.
It probably will be.
Just
the first one.
guessing. Just
Might
guessing.
be a new one.
We're all guessing at the moment.
But yeah, we've mentioned it a few times, and since we're talking about movies, Dark Knight Rises is right around the corner, and I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
Like, I haven't looked forward
Now
to like a
there.
game or a film release like this for
You booked
ages.
tickets ready. You did,
Yeah,
didn't you?
man.
IMAX.
Yeah, Steve and I and a few other, we're going to the IMAX on the 23rd because I'm unfortunately at a stag do on launch night. But having said that, tickets were tough to get as is. But I'm also going to an all-nighter at the BFI on the 2nd of August, and it's the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy,
Oh wow.
all 3 of them. And
Nice.
Dark Knight Rises begins at 6:15 on Friday morning.
Shit.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
It's mad.
You guys excited?
Yeah.
Yep.
Your punishment must be more severe.
Be Riddler.
Steam Greenlight. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Steam are now going to allow fans to vote for what games get released on Steam. This is particularly helpful to the indie games.
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea. So obviously, if Rathbone was here, I'm sure he'd be championing it quite heavily.
Can we vote for that?
Steam Greenlight is a new system that allows developers to publicly post information, screenshots, and videos for their game, and the general populace will decide what they'd like to see accepted onto the store. The idea is it will help Valve prioritize what games need to be made available.
So are they going to post reviews of each game as well, or is that going to be...
What, the developers? Going, here.
So
you should get our game on Steam. We gave it a 5 out of 5.
So they're all just going to be brand new games then?
Maybe not.
No, yeah, I was just wondering whether they're going to include old titles as a...
That's probably going to be a possibility. I mean,
maybe in a category of their own without the new games, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, Steve's right, yeah. I mean, maybe they'll be like, and here are your choices this week. We've got Kent's Big Adventure, we've got Loz Balls Rides into Town, and we've got Grim Fandango.
But the thing I wonder
So
is
choose
like
between these.
everyone's going to put all of them on.
Yeah.
Why are we voting for this? Why is the other guy not getting his game on there?
Well, maybe one of them will look better. I don't know.
To get the
It's
community going,
democracy.
isn't it? To get everyone
Community
involved.
don't know what they want.
EA service that's similar to Steam. What's that called?
Origin.
How's-
Yeah, because I was
how's
going
that
to say my first vote would be for like Battlefield.
Yeah.
Battlefield, please.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Because no EA games are going to go on Steam anymore, are they?
No.
Nope.
I hear Origin's a pile of shit as well. I've never used it.
There's no way they're going to topple Steam. It's like trying to topple like YouTube now, isn't it? By making your own.
Yeah, it's
I know, but
so
stupid.
far.
It's EA who has titles like.
They're pretty big.
As good as EA are,
Yeah.
as big as they are, even they're not going to.
Well, they've got Mass Effect.
As hard as they
They've
are.
But my point is, they have enough titles to. It's not like some guy off the street
Oh, yeah,
starting
well,
a service like
yeah,
Steam.
but it's still not going to happen.
We've
It's
all
still
got
not gonna work.
Origin. We have to.
and they're going to start
for that.
making deals with, eventually they get a deal going with Microsoft or Sony or someone, and then all of a sudden there's no Microsoft titles being
I don't
published on
think
Steam,
that
and then
just
they're
won't
done.
happen.
No,
That won't happen.
they're not. It's not going to happen now because there's no incentive for Microsoft to do it. But as soon as there's a reason for them to do it, why wouldn't they?
And also, like, there's no point in trying to there's no point in like doing that to rival something that's already so strong like Steam. That's what they do. They have to move into new areas to explore new
I guess.
revenue streams and all that bullshit.
Well, if it's the only place you can access their games, then I guess they'll get.
It is
enough
irritating.
people.
That is annoying, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wish they hadn't done it.
But it's the only way that they can attack Steam. If they didn't do
Just
it that
let,
way,
yeah.
then-
Actually, I've completely done a 180. I agree with Loz. No, don't rival Steam. Just look. It's not like Valve are making any games at the moment. They're just doing Steam. So I mean, let them.
All their focus is on that. Yeah.
Yeah, bloody Steam. Now you mentioned it very briefly there. Steve, Loz, Kent. Has anyone here done the Mass Effect 3 DLC, the new endings yet?
Yeah, I have.
You have.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
Now don't.
Been ill a
ruin
lot,
it.
haven't I? So
Obviously, no
plenty of time
spoilers.
to-
So just Steve. Yeah. And what do you think?
I liked it. I thought it was good. It's exactly what I was after.
All cutscenes,
Really?
right?
Yeah, just more.
How long did it last?
Because I didn't. My grievance was never with the actual.
No,
Choices you make
sent
at the
angry
end.
letters to all the people by
No,
way,
I
didn't
sent
you?
angry letters about everything.
And they would just contained your shit as well, just sealed in an
Oh,
envelope.
Pictures of my shepherd shooting at the screen. But no, yeah, it was. What I wanted was just a bit more. Well, basically, my comparison to it is like the end of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. If Return of the King had had a 3-minute ending, like everyone goes, "Oh, isn't it an annoying ending, a 40-minute ending?" But in hindsight, you'd think,
I like that four-way hug.
exactly. I and that's what I wanted. I wanted
Gandalf.
a 4-way hug on a bed whilst my shepherd woke up.
Shepherd.
Didn't happen, but
Is that what happens then?
not in my one.
Right.
Hang on. Let's not ruin it for the
I'm not
people.
ruining
We're not
it.
gonna-
We're,
no,
we're talking about
because I-
Gandalf here.
Because I'm coming up to the end of Mass Effect.
But yeah,
3 right now.
that's what was. It just gave you loads more sort of closure on what other characters were up to, and also what your decision impacted properly, as opposed to just.
That's good.
The end.
Yeah, well, it was this. So that's it, and that's like I say. I was happy to have a 20-minute ending as opposed to a 4-minute ending.
So was it
basically.
20 minutes then, roughly?
It's
Yeah,
long. Isn't
about
it? Well,
15,
it's
20
the whole,
minutes,
the whole download is 2 gig, and it's just cutscenes.
And
Yeah,
it's,
that's
a,
good
it's a
that
free
they've done
free
that, I
download.
think.
No?
Yeah, free download. Yeah, definitely. Have you've completed it? Have you?
Yes.
So-
Can I just download it and play it? I mean, or
my
do I-
last autosave, so I assume same for you, is just as I'm going into
Yeah.
the final bit when you go up.
Oh, so I can just download it and play it. I don't have
Yeah,
to
that's
do the
what I
whole
did.
game.
So you have to do it takes like 25 minutes to get to the final because obviously you have to do the last bits
Yeah,
again. But that's not a problem because it gets you back into playing it as well. So the endings actually mean something instead of just watching them on YouTube.
Because that'll be all passive and shit.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So, I'm coming up to the end now. Should I have it downloaded?
Yeah.
Do you see the original short ending? And
Yeah, it's
then-
all there. Everything's in there.
So
and,
the original
and the bits
short-
that were like didn't make sense have been sort of they've tried to make it seem more sense. And then there's also lots of other nice stuff.
So you don't think because I kind of want to see what the fuss is about. Well, what the fuss about the other.
Well, you can do that by watching YouTube after.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Because that's only
worry
for
about
like a
it.
few minutes.
It'd be better.
So have it downloaded
I think
then, yeah?
I'd rather watch the proper good ending that they've got now, and then YouTube and see and be like, oh god, they cut that. Oh god, this is all we. It'd be better than just seeing it and be like, oh god, I need to get the DLC now because you'll have to play the game for another 40 minutes again, and it might be a bit frustrating as well. So I'd just play it with the new one.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
What's he like?
What?
Massage's catchphrases.
What's the catchphrase?
What's he like?
It's one of your catchphrases.
I forget who you're copying when you say that.
Churchill.
Yeah.
What's he like?
The Churchill dog. Oh, what's he like?
What's he like?
That's your best impression.
Sarge just literally just watches English television.
I know. I just watch adverts on YouTube.
Well, damn you.
That's all you ever get to watch
Especially
now, isn't
that
it?
one. Yeah, that is YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a bunch of new HD remakes that have been announced or rumoured. We got Knights. That's obviously a big deal for some people. It was 2 generations ago, i.e. Saturn. And so those remakes are more of a big deal because they're harder to do. So it's good for Knights fans that they'll be able to play in high resolution. Halo 2 has been rumoured.
That was inevitable.
Well, because they did Halo, didn't
Yeah,
they?
obviously
And
that's
that went
going
down really
to
well.
happen.
That's
What?
Really?
well after the success of the anniversary.
Was it a
one,
success? I don't know.
Yeah, it sold well.
It had to have been.
I guess so.
It's a Halo
it was.
game.
Well, it was the best one.
Of course. Obviously, we
I
got
loved it when
I was even a little bit tempted to play it. That's how
I
successful.
still am.
only a little
I'm not
tempted.
gonna
I
bother.
want to.
No, I
but
want to
don't
go. I want to go back to because I played like half the campaigns of both 1 and 2, and I want to go back and maybe
haven't-
finish them.
You haven't finished it.
No. Hey, so Halo 2, rumored, but probably
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
definite. And finally, the one I've been waiting for, Akami,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
because
Complete that the other day.
you played it, didn't you, Steve?
Don't judge me. What's Akami?
Akami is a game
knob.
about a dog called Okamidon, and the dog goes around and is friends with Zelda, the guy in the green suit,
well,
and they go around and he rides the wolf,
I don't know if this
let's,
is the...
and he turns into a wolf,
Right.
Zelda's not a
and-
dude
and-
in a
okay.
green suit.
and it's called
Yeah.
Twilight
That's
Princess.
Legolas.
About this, what Chris is saying is not so true,
So this was a PS2 game, and it was ported to the Wii.
and not very well.
And not very well, and you've got to use your Wiimote and fuck that. But
Cut things down.
finally, an HD remake. So this is when I will be playing it.
With the
and
move, right?
Jamie, shut up. Jamie Rathbone absolutely loves it. Steve, when did you first play it?
I
In the
bought
last
it
2
on
years?
PS2, yeah, a couple of years ago for like $9.99, and then got like 3 quarters of the way through, and then recently went back to it and finished it. When I found out the HD remake, I was like, right, that's the motivation to go back and complete it because I had to justify. It's a brilliant game. Be warned, like it's really long. Like you know, anyone that thinks, oh yeah, that game's like it took me like 45 hours to complete that game.
Wow.
It's long, and the humor's really Japanese. Like
I'm used to that.
Well, Loz will enjoy
I'll be
it.
used to that.
yeah, lots of
I haven't
cracking
played
up.
it, so I'm going to play
Half of
that.
them will be cracking up.
Alright, mate.
But it is,
All right,
it's
calm
brilliant.
down. Yeah.
It is a brilliant game.
Yeah, well, he's eating his wasabi, or how do you say it, Ken?
It's
Wasabi.
it's better than Twilight Princess. It's a better
Yeah,
game.
I've heard a lot of comparisons to Zelda. A lot of people compare it to
Oh,
Zelda. don't
it
they?
is.
Twilight.
Unashamedly steals from Zelda.
How did we get
Don't
into
listen.
Twilight?
No, it's the
Princess.
Gaming
Gaming podcast, Ken.
I thought you just meant the
Did
the
I
dude
just
who
call it
stars
Twilight?
in Twilight.
I
No,
didn't-
but Loz and I both went, nodded, and Ken went, wait a minute, what?
Better than
A vampire movie?
Well, you said Twilight Princess. Isn't that the guy who acts in Twilight?
It's terrible.
Hi-yo.
Whatever.
But yeah, I'm going to be getting on that, won't I?
It's good.
Aren't I?
Well, I will, 'cause I haven't played it yet. So.
Yeah,
I
me
don't know.
neither.
I'm not so convinced by HD remakes anymore. I don't. Well, no. I started Metal Gear Solid 3, which I thought was like one of my favourite games, and I just couldn't be asked. Got like
It's- I
2
think they're
minutes
good.
into it. I was like,
Yeah,
nah.
that's 'cause
But
you
they
played
call
it
them
once.
HD remakes. But let's face it, how often are they actually HD?
pretty much all the time.
They look poo. They look
No,
terrible.
I'd say
they
God,
are-
no, but it depends what you're
played-
comparing it to. If you compare
It's not.
God of War 2 HD to God of War 3, then yeah. But if you compare God of War 2 HD to the God of War
Just not-
PlayStation
Just
version,
make God of War 4. Stop with the HD remakes.
But we get both.
it's
we
glorious.
get both.
If we get both,
We
then-
do.
Then
We
I
always
guess
get
it's
both.
okay.
We always. This is the thing. I don't understand why people get angry at HD remakes, because if you want to play them, play them. If not,
No,
fair enough.
Don't get angry with them.
Not you. Lots
It's
of people on the
because
internet.
think they're wasting time.
They
Like,
often-
That's why
Yeah,
you
I
want.
do.
People, internet commenters who don't understand how the industry works. Sure.
Like they often give the HD remakes to like smaller companies,
Yeah.
and then that small company gets to make a lot of money out of the fact that they've. So it's a good way to help them, and then they make those games.
It's
that
a
everyone wants to
relatively
make.
easy job to upscale
Because-
a last generation game, like I said, with Knights. That's why Knights is a big deal, because it was
But
two generations
Knights does not look HD. It
No, but
looks
it-
like
no, but-
it was on the PS1.
But you're mistaken. It's not. It doesn't change the polygon count or anything like that. It just makes
no,
it.
I understand
It so it displays on a current TV through an HDMI cable, and it doesn't look like utter gash, because the old games. I can't play Metal Gear Solid 1 because it looks like shit. I'm trying to, but you really have to fight through
You
that.
should
And
borrow
It just makes them
Twin
playable.
Snakes
but-
of Ryan. You
I
should
have been
try
thinking
it.
about it, but I'm just going to do the canon
Twin
one.
Snakes isn't very good
It's not very good.
compared to the.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick with canon, because I've got
Cutscenes
the.
are great.
So they shouldn't call them HD remakes in. They should call them HD upscales.
No,
because they're not remakes, are they?
but then that sounds stupid, isn't it? Upscale.
Call
Yeah,
them
well,
something
that
else.
is true.
because They're not remakes.
They're never remakes.
They're the same games that have slightly improved graphics so that they can work on a big TV, not so that they
And
look better.
Got trophies.
But some of them, some of
they've
them
got trophies.
have trophies / achievements. HD remakes / upscales like Perfect Dark on XBLA. That is amazing, because what you're getting for your money was fantastic. It looked really good, and it had online. So some of them really are.
Another one.
Yeah, you can't
And it
speak for
ha-
all of them with that.
Another
No,
one
yeah.
is Shadow Colossus.
Oh my god!
Like an amazing game,
So good.
but it playing on the PS2. The PS2 wasn't powerful enough for that game, so during big battles, and considering it's only about big battles, the game would slow down. The frame rate would dip, and now you get this amazing looking version of it with trophies,
Yep.
which runs perfectly, like 60 frames per second all the way through.
And I
So what we're saying then, we're all agreeing, is they need to be careful about what HD remakes they make. Not
No,
just
they can do
fucking
as many as
quite
they
careful.
like.
everything.
They can do as
But
many
you
as
say
they like.
everything; they're not recent. You know,
but it doesn't matter.
Spyros.
It doesn't matter, because here's the thing: for fans of the genre, or for people who have heard about the games, like I hadn't played Shadow of the Colossus because I missed out on a lot of classic games from the last generation because I was at university, so I was out shagging. But yeah, I missed out on. I never played the Metal Gears.
What's he like?
God.
And I didn't play Shadow, so when that came out, when that was an HD re-release, I'm well up for this, and I really, and so the games that I'm interested in, it's great news for people like me. So
Yeah.
I think if you missed out on a game,
That's how I feel for Akami.
get it, because I don't have much Devil May Cry experience, so I'm going to pick that up as well.
Yeah.
I
that
think
one
it's always if it's one of your favorite games, it's good because you can relive it. And it will be more like your memory because it will look better and all of that. And it's good for people who missed out on it the first time round, because if they went back and played it on a PS1 on, say, a current flat screen, they'd be like, I can't play this, it's dog shit. And then forever they'll be like, that game is shit.
I see your point. I've already got so many games that I can't play.
Boasting, isn't
Well, I
he?
mean, hang on.
Rich
Let me
kiddo,
rephrase
yeah.
that then. There are so many games
Yeah.
that I don't have time to play. I
But they're
don't.
not-
I
yeah.
don't need HD remakes, so it doesn't anger me.
Yeah.
It doesn't anger
but
me that they
peop-
make them. I'm never going to spend my money
There
on them,
are-
ever.
They're
There
not
are
tailored
so
for
many
you, then.
games.
No, I'm just saying if they're not for everyone.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying.
You said you're a new school gamer,
Absolutely.
and there you go. Like
New games
But my
will
argument
always be better.
Against that,
Well,
no,
I
that's,
don't know about
that's
always,
definitely
but
not the case.
not
and
always better.
saying there's so many games, but there's not so many games better than Akami, or better than Metal Gear Solid 2
Yeah.
and 3, or
Shadow
better
Colossus.
than God of War, or
and
Shadow
if you've
Colossus.
missed them,
Like, there's actually very few games better than these games, and that's why it's really good that they're re-releasing them.
Again,
Well, I haven't played most of those games
Yeah.
you just mentioned
It's quite
because they're
opportunity
all,
for you to.
they're
Yeah.
all
see?
PlayStation games.
So
I
without
don't know
knowing it,
PlayStation.
you're actually the audience. Because I didn't have a PS2,
no,
and I'm
but-
playing the God of War collection as well.
But I have played games recently that I think are amazing, and therefore I have no need to go out and find these old
yeah, but
games
there are
that are.
there are people
know.
like you that have the time to do.
It's a
to do
terrible
that.
attitude. That's your attitude to films, and that's why I get so annoyed. Because you're like, no, it's old. I know you've never said that exact sentence, but that's the outlook, and it's not a good outlook to
I watched
have.
The Matrix the other day. Great movie.
That
That's
is
old.
well old
Fantastic
as well.
movie.
That goes back like 99, so yeah. It's not old,
don't
is
like
it?
it?
13 years ago.
Yeah, it's good.
How old
good
were you?
math.
13
Film and
years
games,
ago.
old are different.
But I know.
Old films are not 1990.
And when did God of War 1 come out? You just called that an old game.
Yeah, but games have. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
yeah. Hook. You've hooked me. Well done.
Yeah. So
One thing that I'm sure you'll all agree with, or maybe not, the narrative in games nowadays, the story, the plot,
No, I don't
is
agree.
better than it used to be.
see, this is the thing,
no.
but
Definitely not.
not in every case. And see, this is the thing. You shouldn't. I know those games feel archaic, like I was just saying, because of the steps we've taken since then. But you can't. I don't think people should write them off at all. And that's why I think HD
No, but,
re-releases are a good thing.
Okay,
always.
no, but now we're talking about the plot of games. I
But
think
you like Gears of War.
it's irrelevant. I also like other games.
No, I'm just like compare.
Spec Ops: The Line.
A game with a good story. Ken.
Modern Warfare.
Compare. Yeah, it's
That whole trilogy.
Apart from that-
amazing.
it's not a terrific story though, is it? I really like it, but it's not a terrific story though, is it?
I disagree. I think it is a terrific story. I think it would
I'm not
make a
saying-
a lot of
fantastic
fun,
movie.
but it's a lot of fun. Like James Bond films are a lot of fun. You don't say the story to James Bond is always incredible. It's just
well,
always
you
really
see,
good.
I would never say that, but
It's no Three Little Pigs. That's one of my favourite stories.
so comparing it to a game like, I mean, I talk about one I know rather than a commie because I don't know it.
It's fair enough.
reference a
but,
good old story game. Quick.
Looking at games like Battletoads.
I knew you were going to say that. I thought you were going to say I thought you were going to say Pac-Man.
Battletoads is a
Christ.
good game.
It is a good game. It's a very
Notoriously one of the
hard.
hardest games ever, and it didn't have a story.
Yeah.
Um,
It probably
back
did
then-
have a story.
well, it was just
It was all mechanics though. It didn't matter.
But the,
Games
no,
were funner back then.
but
Discuss.
we're not talking about mechanics now. I said when I started this bit of the conversation, I said now we're talking about the story.
All right, fair
the
enough.
Stories in games are better than they used to be, and they're
Do
getting
you
better.
want-
Nah, they're not.
That's what you say, but the Battletoads Double Dragon crossover was fucking thick with narrative.
Do you want
Well,
a
give me a-
HD remake of Battletoads? Is that what you're getting at? To be honest. Sounds like
I
it
don't
is.
even know how to respond to that.
Do you know who made Battletoads? Rare.
Well,
Don't
how
have
far
you-
back are we going with that then?
Give it 10 years.
Battletoads is so difficult.
So
That's
what? PS1,
Yeah, PS1.
Final Fantasies for me.
Metal Gear Solid.
Give me games I know.
Metal Gear Solid 1, yeah.
Give me games I know.
What do you,
Metal Gear
That's
Solid.
not
I
an
know.
argument, is it?
Metal
Games I
Gear
know.
Solid I know, and it's good.
This is the thing.
It's got an excellent plot.
And that's why I said in general.
It's got the strongest plot
But with all
of those. Half-Life one?
games have become more cinematic, sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the stories have become
Yeah.
better. I mean, with all due respect, I don't think you've played enough games from the last few generations to make that call.
That's not true.
Well, I'm saying
I
that
haven't
it is.
played enough. I haven't played enough console games because these consoles were never around when I was growing up. But I played a
Here's
lot
the
of
whole
PC
South
games.
African argument.
No, but I played a lot of
Yeah,
PC games. I've played more PC games than most people. Granted, I had a very specific genre. of PC
So
games.
what was big on PC
RTS,
games?
yeah.
Adventure, text adventures. Now,
That old.
surely those stories are going to be better.
Most of
Sam and Max hit the road. That had a great story.
Monkey Island.
Monkey Island games.
That was good.
Those have got great stories.
It's the most important part of a game for me.
Story.
Putting it out there.
I don't think that's true.
I would.
I'd say that's definitely not true. If a
For
game
me,
played like
it's different
absolute
for-
crap,
Does it
Mechanics.
depend what game
you wouldn't
you're
play
playing?
it, even if you
It
heard
has
it had
to-
an amazing story.
It has to.
Mechanics.
It obviously has to be fun to play too. But I would sooner play an average game that had a really good story than play a better game that had a poo story.
Read a book or watch a film.
I do read books and I do watch films too, but I like playing games.
I half agree with you, but there's
I know,
not
it's
many
very
of those
important.
kind of games
This,
around.
this obviously, yeah. I mean, look,
It
you
is so
can't go
important.
too far in either direction.
Heavy
'Cause
Rain.
If it's really bad, then of course.
yeah,
I'm
Heavy
not.
Rain's probably a good.
Did you
example.
play Heavy Rain?
No.
You should. And that's a good kind of example for Kent's argument because it didn't play bad,
I
but it's
know-
not your typical game, is it? The way you control it, so it is all about story in that
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Like the games that you're calling out there from 10 years ago or whatever, Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid. Yes, they had amazing stories.
Mario
but
2.
they were the biggest games at the time. You talk about the biggest games at the time now, most of them have good stories.
Most of the
Yes,
games,
but
most
there's
of the big
more-
games back then had
yeah,
good
yeah,
story.
no,
most
but
of the
my
games now
point
have
is
big
that
story.
now there's more games that are, big games. Games are bigger now than they were.
But that wasn't your argument originally. You said
Yes, no, that is my argument. My argument
I'd
is
say
now
back then,
games are more.
But I think picking the
more narrative
PlayStation era
driven
is a
than-
bad time to, because obviously like then all the big like Tomb Raider as well had a story. Like they
Tomb Raider story wasn't good.
The thing is, though, we're talking NES, SNES, Mega Drive era. That was kind of like the era of mechanics where gameplay evolved, and that was the focus there, because also telling stories through those games was hard.
Yes, that's
No
my point.
speech, obviously, but
That's my point.
okay. Well, I know what you're saying. So we're now in the era of
Story and gaming.
Yeah, and before it was more
And
gameplay, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the PlayStation 1 and 2 era was sort of in between that.
I see what you're saying.
And some people would argue that the games then
I'd-
were
I-
better.
I'd say
because-
the PS1 era was in between that. I'd say PS2 era is when it all. I mean, like games like all the Grand Theft Autos have massive, big.
Yeah, okay.
big
Well, I
complex
mean, wherever you
stories.
want to draw the line is
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
and this
but-
comes back to the whole thing about the HD remakes. Most of them are HD remakes of PS2 games, so we can all go play them.
They're all the ones with the stories. And
I can't argue that
Because the ones that are getting released are like God of War's got a really entertaining story. The Metal Gears, Shadow Colossus,
God
Ico.
of War doesn't
Silent
have
Hill.
a bad story, but and I have played God of War, yes. Before you asked,
I didn't say it.
Let's not
I said
forget-
it's not a great story.
I said an
come on.
entertaining story. I picked my word very carefully. It's entertaining.
It's fun.
It's fun. The first one I think's got quite a good story.
Yes, but don't forget,
Fine
Steve,
is the word.
the first game was made, and then the story was thrown in at the last minute. Literally at the last minute.
But that's my point. It's fun. It's
We need-
I like the God of War story. I'll be honest.
We need to start moving away from this now, but
it's not scary.
no, well, exactly. we need to move away from this now. But this brings us back full circle, really, to we were speaking about Spec Ops, and Spec Ops has got a terrific story. And if you're a big fan of strong narrative, and it's a solid shooter as well.
Yeah.
If you're a big fan of good story in games, play Spec
North
Ops.
tends to do
Great
games
game.
with good story, doesn't he? That's his thing. Isn't
You should play it, Steve. Don't. It's really, because I don't want to spoil it for you. But the head writer, I was listening to an interview. His name's Walt Williams, I believe, and he said it's not the game you expect, and it really isn't. It's like you start it and you think it's just gonna be like COD or whatever, but it's play it.
It's
2 words.
the best word.
Carpocalypse now. I mean, apocalypse now.
The best.
2 words I don't want to hear.
The best word to describe it would be subversive. It's different.
Play it.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney is working with Bungie
I
to.
didn't understand this at all. I heard this. So I think Ben told us earlier, and I was like,
What? Finish your sentence. I don't know what he's working with or what he's doing.
I think that's it.
Paul McCartney's working with Bungie
Is that the end of the sentence?
to make music for an upcoming Bungie game.
Halo 4.
But it led to
Why not?
quite a funny trend on Twitter, which was Beatle game names, just some that I gathered. Halo Goodbye, While My Guitar Hero Gently Weeps, Lucy in the Skyrim with Diamonds, I Want to Hold Your Hand Held. I like that one a lot.
This is good.
I like that one a lot. Has anyone got any other songs they'd care to throw in?
You're on the spot here. Don't like it. The first one was the best one because Bungie make Halo. It's pretty clever.
Halo Goodbye.
I like that.
It's one of my
I
favourite
think
Beatles songs as well.
Halo Jude as well.
We're moving forward into a feature featuring
Oh,
Loz
God.
Hart.
He doesn't know what this feature is.
I don't
Is
have,
that-
I don't have
It's
a clue.
called
This is-
That's Debatable.
Of course it is.
And here's what happens, Loz. It's called That's Debatable because That's Debatable is one of Loz's favourite catchphrase. He hasn't said it this
Some
episode,
say so
but he
many
does.
catchphrases.
But he does say it all the
That's
time.
not.
You say 3 things, don't you?
Yeah, what's the one you put in the bear? Loz bear.
We had
All right,
Alright,
calm
calm down, and that's debatable.
And you can answer any question with those 2
Yeah,
things.
we realised it's pretty amazing.
And he
You ask Loz anything, and he can just.
What's the Loz Bear? Quickly.
Alright, calm down.
It's me in a Chelsea kit. Well,
It's
a-
debatable.
That-
Me in bear form. In Chelsea kit.
Yeah. Bit more info.
With 2 catchphrases on each paw.
Yep. More info
It was
though.
a birthday present.
There it is. Thank
Yeah.
you, Steve.
And I loved it. It's brilliant.
What is it? Well, it's me in bear form.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean?
One of the best. One of the
Birthday present, a bear dressed in a Chelsea kit. Thank you, Steve.
debatable.
Outrageous. Yeah, so Loz says that's
Alright,
debatable.
calm down.
All right, calm down.
So Loz, you say that's debatable and all right, calm down.
Yeah.
There was another one as well, wasn't there? What
It's
was
a
it?
bit harsh.
Then you
It's a bit harsh.
bit harsh.
You're kidding me.
Oh, you could mate.
And I don't ever say that one. That might as well be Kent's.
Wait,
thing.
that's your COD one.
Playing
It is-
Call of Duty, you couldn't respawn behind me.
It is good.
The thing is, it's so easy to imagine. And the thing is, when I met Kent's wife, who apparently has listened to you playing it, and said, "Yeah, that's all Loz ever says.
Well, she
You're
doesn't know.
kidding me.
She just quit after one death, so she doesn't know.
You kidding me?
All right, calm down.
Debatable.
Well, it's not debatable.
Is this the feature?
No, it is debatable, Loz, and that's debatable. I'm going to give you 3 outlandish gaming facts, and one of them is very much debatable.
That's clever.
Okay.
Yes, one of these is debatable, and when you think you know which one is debatable,
This is a great
you say
question.
that's debatable.
Okay.
So here they are. Oh God, I'm not going to have to keep a straight face.
I'm not going to be able to. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Right, so Loz, here are your
You always keep a straight face.
Here are your 3 gaming facts, and one of them, you might say, that's debatable. Right, so Matt Damon refused to appear in the recent Bourne conspiracy game because he thought it was too violent, right? Number 2, the damsel in distress that Mario rescues in the original Donkey Kong is called Pauline.
I don't know idea.
In the Japanese version, she was known simply as Lady. And thirdly and finally, Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid was originally going to be known as Floating Snake. The name was changed, however, to avoid comparisons to BCs.
Feces, Loz. Now,
That's interesting.
this is all on you, mate.
No idea on any of that.
Well, you have to have an idea.
Well, do I get any help? Do I get to phone a friend?
No! There's no money on the line.
Damn it.
That's a bit harsh.
Alright, we'll
All
go
right, calm
with
down.
A is, well, that's debatable.
That's debatable.
The Matt Damon one? I'm afraid you're wrong. It was the Solid Snake one. That's debatable.
I didn't want to go with that.
I did make it up. Floating Snake doesn't make any sense.
I'm
It's solid
glad
and liquid.
Pauline is true. Then. That's why I'm happy to find out that
She's
Pauline,
called Pauline.
Princess Pauline.
That's Princess. No, it's just she's probably not even a princess.
She's just a woman.
Nah, Pauline, nah.
So that's debatable with Lawrence Hart. More of that next time he's on.
Terribly.
Well, I thought it was too
right,
obvious.
calm down.
I thought C was too obvious.
No, it's good. That's brilliant. It's going to live on. To ye loyal listeners of Ready Game Fire, I bequeath to you this incredible discount code for the website Insert Coin, who do incredible gaming apparel, t-shirts and hoodies and girly shirts and all that kind of stuff. They've just brought out brand new Sega and Devil May Cry lines, and they are fantastic. And there's a load of other stuff on there that if you're into your games and you want to represent that on your chest in some kind of cryptic, awesome way, check out Insert Coin. And here is a code to get £10 off an order. That's £10 off any order from Insert Coin. Okay, so in the voucher section, all you'd have to do is type in RGF10. That's RGF10 to get £10 off your order. Obviously, this is a one-time only deal, so whoever does this first gets it, and no one in here can do that.
We've got our own code.
Also, I need to remind you that for everybody, there's a £2.50 code off any order. So if you type in RGF250 when you make an order off Insert Coin, you will get £2.50 off your order.
minute.
Do I write 250 the words or 250?
I'm starting to suspect that
2,50, or is it a full stop?
It's 250, RGF250, and for the other one, it's RGF10.
what happens if you put RGF 20?
Yeah, and they're misrepresenting because
Do we get-
250 would be 250 pounds.
Yeah, it's
off, not
confusing.
£2.
I'm going
They
to
should
put
have a comma in there.
2.50 to make sure I get my 250.
You're right, they are outrageous guys for doing this code in the way that they have. But yeah, the guys at Insert Coin are amazing, and they were kind enough to give us that code. So as soon as you've heard this, I imagine you're already there, but get straight over there, buy the Shenmue hoodie, and type in the code.
I need that for my
Shenmue.
cosplay.
We've reached the hot topic of this episode. It is a Scary Games special, and we're going to be talking about scary video games. Video games that have shat us right up in the past, and why playing a scary game is infinitely more affecting than watching a scary movie.
Kent/Sarge might be quite a bad person to be on this because, as we all know, he's fearless.
Well, I was going to
Fearless
ask,
Sarge.
now, do you guys feel the fear? Because there are some people I've spoken to who don't get scared at games.
There's a couple games that have scared me. Dead Space wasn't one of them, despite being, one of my favorite
It's an
games.
atmospheric
I love
game.
Dead Space, but it's not scary. There's some scary moments where things jump out at you, but that's not
yeah,
scary.
But
That's
how do you define
frightening.
scary then?
Yeah.
I think- no,
well,
but I
that's-
agree.
That's how I define it. That's frightening. That's not
The
scary.
thing about Dead Space, which, like, having played through it recently on my own, your character is pretty brilliantly tough, and there's not much worry when, no matter what monster comes at you, you still, like, the initial shock is always like, whoa, what's this? But you can still feel you can take it out.
It's like you get a fright all the time because something jumps in front of you, but it's not scary. Whereas fear,
I've got to say,
I played that when it first came out.
oh, I thought you were talking about the concept of fear.
Yeah.
No, the game Fear when it first came out, the first one.
Yeah.
Friggin' scary.
Now,
Matt knows.
Yeah, Mac's a big fan. Now, I think Dead Space gets a little bit unfairly put into that cheap shock category, as in, it just makes things jump out and you get scared. And my parents think that about the Alien films, and whereas something does jump out and scare you, it's been geniusly built up to that. And Dead Space has got an incredible atmosphere as well and surroundings.
Well, don't get me wrong, I
And
love Dead Space.
things do jump out at you. Oh, yes, they do. But it's also like a terrifying
Yeah, there's some really good freaky moments in there. Like I said, because I haven't played it recently. It's
first
quite,
bit when you don't have a weapon.
like,
yeah.
like
When you don't have a weapon and you have to get to that elevator or lift.
I love Dead Space and they're good, but it's not scary.
It's like there's some cool moments where you're like, well, like there's a guy where there's just that guy just banging his head on the wall.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, and you
All a
get
bit
all those people and like,
freaky.
I'm going to save you. And she just shoots herself in the head.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
You know what I'm going to throw out there? Not as a whole game, but a portion of a game
Go on.
is zombies from World at War. Not Black Ops, World at War. When those zombies when you're in a corner and you're running out of ammo, you got 5 bullets left, and
Oh,
the
man.
zombies approaching
See, if
you.
we're going to talk about zombie games, this is where I'm going to talk about a game that I've just started playing called DayZ, which is just
It's pronounced Jay-Z, Steve.
It's not pronounced Jay-Z.
So who's this Daisy?
Right,
Princess? Is
let's
she good
explain
looking?
DayZ quickly. Right, it's either DayZ, Days, or DayZ. You can choose what you want to call it. Spelled D-A-Y-Z.
I imagine it's Daisy.
Yeah. that's what I
Regardless, tell us what it is.
imagine. Right. So, this is right. Okay, so
It's a mod, right?
it's a mod. There's a game called Arma 2, which has been out since 2009. This is the game which, do you remember, was on the news where they thought, they showed footage of this war situation.
And they went, and then we
yes.
cut live to Iraq with this harrowing footage of this
Yeah.
tank with a very, very low polygon count. It's real. There
just
goes
saying-
Captain Price, and there's Sonic the Hedgehog following
Their
our...
internet connection is losing, but yeah, basically. this game-
obviously, the Allied forces won because Iraq experienced some terrible lag and lots of
game-
connection issues.
Arma 2 is like, it's an ultra realistic military sim. So it's like, if Battlefield is considered more realistic than Modern Warfare, this is like, this makes Battlefield look like Sonic. It's just a computer game.
Sure.
And it's not the most fun game of Arma 2. But it's set on this massive 50 square kilometer map or something. It's huge. And basically one guy has created this mod. So Arma 2 came out in 2009 and its expansion came out in 2010. But the guy's made a mod called DayZ where he's taken the whole map and it's like it's sort of like a war-torn map, so it's quite good for a apocalypse setting. And basically you you play like 50 players on the map and stuff, and there's zombies wandering around. And the beautiful thing about the game is the zombies are a threat, but what it's done is it's the first ever kind of zombie game that's realised that the real threat in a zombie apocalypse is the actual people, fellow people. So like you don't you start with nothing. You start with like literally you have nothing. You have to go off and you slowly crawl around. You look and you find you eventually find some like aspirin or like some painkillers, and then you find when you find a gun, and then you'll find when you meet other people, it's because you don't know if they're gonna if they're evil or not. A lot of people just shoot you on sight as well. But it's just this incredible atmospheric game. Like I say, like me and Mike have been playing it, and like the first we've had so many just epic moments where like we've been crawling along and like this sort of massive we'll go to this factory in the distance, and as we're moving towards it, like Mike, I'm sort of like looking at this, and Mike goes, "Steve, look at the factory," and like suddenly the factory's just lit up red, and some random person we don't know has just lit up a flare, and we can see this guy.
This is all online. So
This is all
these
online.
are real
yeah.
people.
Yeah, these are real people, and we're like, "What the fuck? What the fuck's going on here?" And like we're looking and we're like, oh my god! And like the guy's sort of like he's got this entire factory to himself, so clearly he's a pretty advanced guy.
So how many?
like,
So is it a massive?
it's 50
is it
people
an
per
MMO?
server.
Okay.
But what happens is when you leave the server and you join other servers, it gets like it's a persistent game, so your character returns to wherever you were. So, but if you get killed, you die and you have to start again every time.
At level 0, so you level.
Yeah, you're back to nothing. So like it's really tense. Like and like so we were like, no, we're not going to this guy. It's clearly. So we went off this other direction and went into a barn.
And these random people just kill you.
Yeah, this is what happens. Like people, like the first time I played it, I walked into this. I was getting chased by zombies, and I ran into this like supermarket to get away from the zombies, and I was just hiding. And some guy just came in and shot me in the head and killed me. I was like,
And you can help people if you want.
you can help people. Well, that's it. It's like it's sort of trying to say like in a real, if this was a real situation, some people would help each other, some people wouldn't. But after seeing this guy, we were like, right, we'll head off. We'll go in a different direction. So we went off to this barn, and we were like killing a few zombies because obviously every area you go to, you're looking for equipment. And suddenly this red flare threw in the barn, and we're like, what the fuck? Mike's like, was that you? And I'm like, it wasn't me, Mike. Definitely wasn't me. And then suddenly this guy, like, so Mike's hiding up one side, I'm hiding up one other. Oh, I had an axe and Mike had a rifle. Like, we didn't have any, that's all the weapons we had. And the guy walked in, and he was just like, at the bottom, watching me. He didn't realise Mike was there. And he was just sort of watching me for ages. And then, like, zombies were coming in, and he killed a couple of zombies. And as he, like, wandered up, like, and then another zombie was coming towards me, and he got up and he's pointing his gun and he's like, he's obviously going to kill the zombie, but I was just like, just kill him, Mike, just kill him. So Mike shot him one time with a rifle.
Clever girl.
Took this guy out, and obviously the guy was like, he was instantly dead, died in one hit, and we're like,
Now the
what do
zombies
we
are
do?
everywhere.
And Mike's just like, let's just steal his shit and get the hell out of it. And we go on, and this guy's got like you don't start with a map of the whole area, so you can't see anything. So Mike, he's got 2 maps. So we're thinking instantly, he wanted to be friends. He's like going to share a map with me. He's killed this guy instantly.
And can you find him again? I mean, is there?
Well, no, he's dead. If he comes and finds us, we've got guns, and he starts with nothing.
But will he know who you are? Does it give you the?
Well, yeah, the name. We know his name was the Law or something. But yeah, we like took his stuff. He had like guns on him. So me and Mike are nicely set up now.
He was probably screaming and.
Oh,
Stuff
he would have
because
been
he wanted to
livid.
help
The hint
you.
was in the name.
The Law, yeah, I know. But it was just amazing. It's like I'm calling it like by far my favourite gaming moment of the year. I was just like, it was so intense and like,
Sounds like fun.
literally after it was done, like me and Mark like it's literally just like, right, we have to get out of this barn. This guy might come back. He might bring people to come after us. So we just like get out of the barn,
And
just go
that's
hide. And at the
paranoid.
moment, we're just hiding in like the middle of a forest.
And that's something you'll always never get in single player.
Well, that's it. It's like
Yep. Something you'll always never get.
Yeah.
this
always
game,
never get.
this
Kind of
this mod has put Armour 2 #1 in the Steam charts as well.
No doubt.
Sounds
It
like fun.
sounds brilliant because
It's
it's
brilliant,
captured.
man.
It's captured like the actual paranoia that you would have because you
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
trust
yeah.
people, and that's what The Walking Dead kind of captures so brilliantly.
That's what I've heard,
It's
yeah.
it's not so much the zombies backdrop, and it's how people interact with each other. So that sounds amazing. I really want to get on that. Check out DayZ right now.
Spelled.
Well, it's
Z.
you have to buy
DayZ.
Armour 2, and it's add-on, which
Yeah.
is £15 on their website.
And how
then
much is Armour 2?
that's it, £15 for the
and then-
both, and then you get DayZ's a free mod.
Okay.
But yeah, it's incredible. Like you were talking about this Res thing, and DayZ was there, and there's loads of all the websites are sort of talking about this thing.
That was the
game.
game.
Has it just come out?
It came out a few months ago. Like a couple of guys from work.
Is it busy? Are there always people online? And
Of course, man.
Yeah. It's always.
You don't need to worry about that. You only need to worry about that like for old games that no one's talking about. Resd, by the way, was a gaming expo in Brighton over this last weekend that none of us went to, so we can't really talk about it. So that sounds fantastic. But so we're talking about the. I guess as much as I love Dead Space atmosphere, you have to put it into the kind of jumpy category. But on the flip side of the scary game coin, you've got games like Silent Hill 2. Now I bought the HD collection for that. Topical. The other day, and even though yes, you can tell it's a last generation game, Silent Hill 2 is one of the most terrifying games.
Yeah.
I have to stop playing it because I just feel really
How far are you into it?
unsettled. Not that far.
the problem with Silent Hill 2 was the controls.
Yeah, well, I mean that's kind of what.
Is that what creates the fear, though?
Well,
you
it doesn't.
can't run away. You run the wrong way and run
It definitely
towards the
helps.
monsters.
Like the old Resident Evil games, that helps. It's all part of being underpowered.
Yeah,
So if you're less equipped to deal with the shit, like Steve was saying in Dead Space, you're ready for it, and
the
you,
new
you
Silent-
can take them out. So
The new Silent Hill games are quite good too. I haven't played Downpour.
I haven't heard
but,
that many good things about them.
Homecoming was good. Weird, but
Yeah.
it was scary. It's scary in a what the fuck is going on kind of way.
Sure.
Good atmospheres and stuff. Quite a similar atmosphere to like Alan Wake.
Yeah.
And it played quite.
Well,
similar
I'm
to
not
Alan
really
Wake.
sure about the latter Silent Hills, but I imagine the atmosphere is quite similar to Silent Hill 2. But I think what Silent Hill 2 has is this really interesting, fucked up story. Which,
Yeah, they're all
so I've read about it. I've never played all of it,
So
but I know a lot about the game because
story's brilliant. The things that you see are so unsettling. It's just perfectly done. It reminds me a lot of some of the bits in Jacob's Ladder. If you haven't seen that, then check that out. But what Silent Hill does so well, and what anything that's perfectly scary does so well, is that it's the unknown. You know, don't show people it at first. Tease it. The scariest games have great atmosphere through sound, clever use of sound. You hear all these crazy things going on. You don't know
And light.
what you're hearing. Sounding and lighting exactly well, and obviously the fog in Silent Hill 2.
And
That's all I
Alan,
remember
Alan
Silent
Wake,
Hill.
the lighting was obviously a
acres of
focal
fog,
point.
stumbling through going through like the sort of deserted town in Silent Hill 2 is brilliant. But those monsters just sort of chase you. Yeah.
They are scary though.
And it's got Pyramid Head.
Yeah, Pyramid Head is great, but Silent Hill 2 is old, so let's bring
Well,
things a little bit
Homecoming,
more recent.
Silent Hill Homecoming. Okay, it's not the newest Silent
Yeah.
Hill, but it's only a year or 2 or 3 years old. It's good.
Silent Hill
Very
2
good.
obviously is the one that's lauded though, and for good reason. It's just stupendous. Now, a lot of people talk about Amnesia these days. Who's played Amnesia?
I played it. Yeah.
I haven't played it. I've just seen a few YouTube clips of people talking while playing, and they just always scream.
Well, I can't. Because it's one of the few games which, like, when you load it up, it says recommend turning lights off and playing with headphones on. So I tried that.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't get anywhere. I didn't even see any monsters or anything because I was just shitting myself every second of the way.
Amnesia is fantastic. It's $12.99 at the moment on Steam, but will obviously be in a sale at some point. But regardless, pick it up. There's talks of possibly an Xbox port.
There's a sequel coming out.
Yep, there
I
is a
saw that
sequel coming
today.
out. But Amnesia as well ticks all the boxes that I just mentioned. You're underpowered, so you don't feel like you can deal with anything that happens, as we all would be in real life. I mean, even though Kent's a Taekwondo sensei, he would be out of his depth, really.
Sensei is a Japanese word and Taekwondo is Korean.
All the same.
Smart man.
Same thing. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not. This isn't racist game fire. Although maybe that is possibly an idea for an episode.
Future episode. Yeah.
The racist,
Racist gay.
Get Stuart
Flame.
Fenn on it.
racist gay flame.
Fassbender.
The atmosphere in Amnesia is fantastic.
How much did you play with it? Because I know you just played it today.
I only got like an hour and a half under my belt, so
That's quite a lot more than I've done.
Is it?
It's
You
not.
stopped that many times.
My curtains were shut.
Scared.
It tells you, like, unfortunately, there's no hiding. Steam tells you how much I've played with it. It's like 17 minutes, and I've played it twice as well. But like, your guy, like, the first thing he does is just like falls over
He just
and
had a
blacks out,
lamp,
and then he
like-
wakes up, and like the door that was clearly shut is just open, and you're like, brilliant.
Yep.
And then you wander off, and then you fall over again because your guy's just a mess, isn't he?
Well, obviously we don't want to talk about it too much in detail at all because you need to go and check this out yourself. So just play it. Obviously, the best way to do it, especially in a horror, is to not know what's coming. I mean, for instance, just on a little tangent for a second, I had a friend who's a little bit older than me, and he was saying about when Predator was first released, there were no pictures of the Predator on the poster, or no one knew what it looked like. So through the whole film, everyone's just watching, going, "What the hell's chasing them? What the hell's chasing them?" Obviously, now
That's exactly the same with Alien as well.
yeah, exactly.
They did that with Alien.
Yeah. So, but Amnesia gets it right. It's got the atmosphere. It's got everything. It's got the use of sound, the confusion. Go and play it. But you sometimes go into dark areas, like Kent said. Scary games use light very well, and you go into dark areas and you start losing your sanity. So,
You wonder why these people go out at night. Why don't they just wait for the day?
Well, that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
Just sleep at night.
And
Wait for the
speaking-
sun to come up, then go outside.
speaking of going out at night, Slender is a free game that's just popped up, and
How long have you completed it? Because
No.
I can't imagine it's very long if it's free.
it's not very long. Again, don't want to tell you too much without spoiling it, but you're basically in this really dark forest, and you have to collect 8 pages. And the only instruction that you're given in the README file is to not look at the enemy, Like it says, don't look at the enemy for too long, you'll lose. Now, I don't want to say anything more. This has all come from a kind of meme / kind of urban legend. As like the Slender Man. The game sees the player wandering around a dark forest looking for 8 pieces of a puzzle, which would be fine if not for Slender Man himself. And I'm going to stop there because anything else is a spoiler. But it's free. It runs on PC and Mac. Check it out as soon as you stop listening to this podcast. At the end, stop listening to this podcast at the end. But then go and check out Slender. It's obviously the next evolution through from games like Amnesia, and is just shit scary. Why are scary games much scarier than watching a horror movie?
There was an interesting article I read. One of the producers or directors or whatever he was of Fear 3, saying that initially when they planned Fear 3, they were going to change the whole franchise and make it a third-person shooter as opposed to a first-person. And someone commented and said it won't be as scary because you're no longer that person. You're looking at that person. Looking through the person's eyes is much scarier, when you are that person. So they scrapped the whole idea and kept it at a.
I think something as simple as well as the difference between first person and third person. Like, you can just see more around you in third person. Like, it's much harder to get surprised in third person from the side than it is in first person. If you hear something, you turn and suddenly it's in your face. Whereas in third person, it's just fighting you already, and you just turn around.
And to the same extension, that's why the original Resident Evils and Silent Hills were so good, because it was a fixed camera position.
They could.
So they had exact control of what the player was seeing and all of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the point is, in a game you're playing as the character, so the danger feels a lot more real and immediate, whereas in a film you're watching it pass. I mean, I still get scared by horror movies. I love watching horror movies and playing scary games, but when you watch a movie, it's passive. It's not you really. I know it's you're not the character, but you feel connected to him or her, and you don't want them to die horribly, which they always do in my hands.
Especially in Dead Space.
I want to try hard.
Ripped into a million pieces in Dead Space.
So we've got some contributions from some RGF listeners here in Reach Out. So they've reached out to us and let us know their scariest moments in gaming. Cosmo says, the final 20 minutes of Harvest Moon had me freaking out. I'm not sure if I don't think he's got the... Zam says, the zombies in the castle in Resident Evil 4. I found a lot of moments in Resident Evil 4 scary, proving that,
Does he specifically mean the one that sort of goes underground?
I imagine when he says zombies in the castle, I guess he's talking just about the robed kind of Las Plagas that you face,
On this topic of Resi 4, because I haven't played it, it's the only one I haven't played.
What?
Yeah.
Why'd you miss that one out, you idiot?
Don't worry.
There's no need for that.
We'll get on to that another time. But yeah, so is it more scary than the old ones?
4 is the best one in the series.
No, but is it the scariest?
No, it's not scary.
So 2's more scary?
Yeah, because of,
the fixed cameras and such.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to speak about this. I mean, have the advances in gaming, i.e., the hardware limitations to an extent were part of the charm and really the effectiveness of the original Silent Hill Resident Evil games, because fixed perspective, because it loads faster, and it was a way for them to make it look better. But now it's been changed to the third-person perspective. You feel a lot more in control, and they're more action games than survival horror games. Have survival horror games, as we've known them, died out?
Well, probably.
I mean, look at Resident Evil 5.
If you look at Resident Evil, then...
Yeah, but there are others. Well, I mean, look at Dead Space.
But no
Alan
games are going to go back to a fixed camera now, are they? They never will.
There's no need to, though. I mean, they didn't do it because it made it scarier. Granted, it did make it scarier, but they didn't do it because it made it scarier. They did it because of the limitations.
They can still do a good game with that.
Yeah, I'm not saying the games were good. But...
Yeah, because God of War fixed cameras. You can't control the camera in 3, can you?
They can do what God of War kind of does, where if it's a large area, it will scroll a bit with it instead of moving off.
Yeah.
God of War
I get terribly frustrated now when I get a fixed camera. I can't do it.
As long as you've got good control of the character, the camera shouldn't matter to you.
Yeah.
It's better now than it's better than it now than it was. But yeah, I think survival horror games are different now because of that. But they've got other tricks they can play on now because there's more powerful hardware.
Yeah,
So
the
they don't need that
can
trick.
look so good that they can just
A
create
real
incredible
looking
scenarios.
monster is scarier than
Yeah.
a pixelated
And it can
looking
be-
one, you know.
You know, set in proper darkness.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff,
guess the
as opposed to
lighting
just-
wasn't much of a
And the
factor
areas
before.
can be bigger because you can load more at a single time.
So we've lost some of the old ways, but we've gained some new, different ways to scare.
I think games are definitely scarier now than they
Yeah,
were.
I would
like,
agree.
By a way. As well.
Amnesia and Slender are two great examples to that. To
Like,
that effect,
we talk about like, you know, Resident Evil, but yeah, it's nothing compared to these games you're mentioning. And even like Silent Hill 2, I'm sure, you know, it's atmospheric and it's scary, but I could get through Silent Hill 2 as I don't know if I'll ever complete Amnesia.
Don't know. Silent Hill 2. I told you I played it recently. I had to stop playing. Anyway, that's just me. I'm a bit of a pussy.
I don't know. I don't remember the Last Plagues ever being that scary. Mainly because they did that thing of, and as soon as they see you, they just start walking really slowly at you, which is never that scary.
That's true, but
and you have a shotgun, or you can
There were,
shoot them in the head and kick them.
even though, like you just said, you are equipped to deal with all the monsters in that game. There were bits that scared me in Resident Evil 4, like the first time you meet Mr. Chainsaw Guy. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Different kind of fear, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the
Different
very
kind of fear.
first time. Because the first time I played it was with mates, and we were still like, fuck, like just running all the time, and still
Exactly.
got killed by him.
Nick Deering says that once, Stuart almost beat me at Street Fighter. I nearly shat myself. Yeah, you're a big Deering fan, aren't you, Loz? Cracking up
He is
straight away.
Too good.
2 deer in. I beat him at Street Fighter, so didn't even get scared about that.
So
Playing my Bison, that's up there with the scariest.
Kyoki, no, Megami. She says, the moment you understand from his blade sound, Pyramid Head is coming to get you, Silent Hill. So obviously we've talked about that already, but
Yeah, she's bought the film, trying to make me watch it.
it's not a good film.
No, it's
got
a
weird taste for
bad
films,
movie.
Horror films. I hate horror films.
You hate horror films?
I like horror films, but that's a bad movie.
Bad in what way? Is it
It's-
still scary, or is
Dude,
it
just
just
don't
the
It
whole
is
watch it,
not
man.
scary.
Don't watch it. If Kent's saying it's bad, then you know it's
It
bad.
is shit.
Oh god, that's
It's
true.
gory, is it?
This is a first.
There's a little bit of gore, but a lot of it's like implied.
One of the remakes as well, which you said you played, so I'll get around to that at some point.
She also says, or when Daniela is freaking you out, shouting in the haunted ground, so scary. Well, I mean, yeah, Silent Hill.
Likes a Silent Hill.
I mean, if you're listening to this and you haven't played it, the HD collection, I believe, is a good way to go. I mean, you immediately you fall back into the old ways of gaming faster than you would think. I think it may be more difficult for a kid, maybe who's only ever known dual analog controls or whatever. But yeah, Kent,
I'm the oldest.
29
yeah,
years
but
old.
started on your 360, didn't you?
I know. I played games before the 360,
Yeah, the
just not
mouse,
on a
though.
console.
You started on your 360.
I had a PlayStation 2.
Let's move on. Nick Deering again says, okay, aside from the narrow Street Fighter escape, any time in Manhunt when hiding from the hunters in the early levels, one of the few stealth games when I genuinely wanted to avoid being caught at all costs, the sense of grime and punishment in that game is second to none. Add Brian Cox, brackets, not that one, screaming in your ear to do it now, and you've got a, if not scary, certainly unsettling experience. Anyone who played it sans headset missed out. So I think
It's a good description of a
yeah.
game I've never played
Detailed.
Manhunt.
and never will play.
Well,
I-
you never know.
I don't think
HD remake.
I don't think I'd play HD remake of Manhunt.
Alan Hindman says DayZ, late night, dark, zombies, all alone, no beans left.
No beans.
He's wrong, haven't he? We've already covered that. It's not zombies. It's the rest of them. It's the horrible people out there.
Maybe
it's
it's
the
the
Mike
semen,
and
wasn't
Steve. It's the murderer Mike. Oh, by the way, yeah, it tells you how many people if you're a murderer or not. And Mike is a murderer now. I'm not. I was just the bait.
So what are you called? The bait.
He's right. It's really weird. It
debatable.
names you after your PC. Like it just takes your PC name. So I'm Steve, and he's the Mongoose Farm.
Oh, what, your Windows PC?
Yeah,
That's weird.
It's called the
isn't it?
Mongoose Farm 2.
Why is
it?
his PC
Oh,
name?
he's like, oh, it's a hilarious story from when he was at school. I was like, all right, yeah, I've got to go.
We'll talk about that next time.
You have to tell me later, mate.
Only he understands that one. Keep it to himself.
Yeah.
Ryan Longland, also, I don't think he's quite got
Oh, dear.
what we're doing. When I caught my first magic carp, tears were shed. Yeah,
First one.
Ryan, I know
Is that
I
scary?
know it's a fairly useless Pokemon, but scary. Yeah.
I thought he meant like fishing game.
Real. Oh, right.
Maxwell Robert McQueen Leslie says, not scary for me. He's just bought his little brother the Dead Space collection for Christmas and has had to listen to 2 hours of him screaming, what? No, no, no! How's that possible? Where's its fucking head? So,
little brother, how little?
Yeah, a little, yeah.
well,
Excuse
I'm
the
hoping
F
he's
word.
single digits because that would be hilarious.
Effing and jeffing.
Here you go. I can't babysit you this weekend. Don't tell mum and dad. I'm going out to a party. But
you.
just play this game. This game will babysit you. Okay, it's called Dead Space, and get on with it.
God, yeah, imagine playing
fine.
Dead Space when you're like 7.
Well, this is the thing. I played Resident Evil when I was like so young. That was probably the scariest bit.
The
of
first
game
time I ever
for me.
played Resident Evil was just, again, mates, and we were just laughing at the fact that you can just lap the zombies around rooms. Like, the zombies were crawling after
We
you.
didn't play it
Zombies
properly.
were so... It was like 10 of us.
We didn't play it properly.
10 of you. Oh, that's
Yeah,
why you're pissed about it.
sleepover.
Didn't play it properly.
How many beers did you have?
Beers? Close to 12. So 5.
Not what you're like.
I was scared by absolutely everything in games when I was younger. Like Doom scared me. Like Seventh Guest, which is a horror puzzler for the PC, mid-90s, that scared me. Get it on
Scooby-Doo.
iPhone now. Go on.
Scooby-Doo on the PC scared me.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
I always found...
The point and click. Like
It's
Monkey
not a
Island.
ghost though. It's probably the owner of the
found,
local fairground.
I know,
though,
but
Loz.
still.
Pesky,
You don't know that to
meddling
the end.
kids.
You know, in Half-Life 1, the underwater monster, he was really scary. I never liked that. There's that bit in Half-Life 1 you have to go in there, he's like,
There's a great
get
case.
this over with as quickly as possible.
There's a great case for Half-Life 1 being very.
Yeah, all the time you're just crawling through like vents and there's just head crabs just every corner. You just have to have your light on the whole time.
I know this isn't
Crabs.
an actual scary game, but there's a if you Google Haunted Majora's Mask cartridge, you'll get some scariness. I don't want to tell you anymore. Again, just do it.
One of my mates is he has like a phobia of, well, a lot of people would have this phobia, but he really doesn't like things that like jump at your head. And
Right.
he can't stand head crabs. It like freaks him the hell
Facehuggers.
out. Yeah. He loves Half-Life, but says it just
Kills those crabs pretty
head
quick.
crabs are pretty nasty.
So, well, I think the conclusion of this episode is that games are scary.
Well,
That
then
was-
Is that what we
that was the
boiled it
question
down
we were
to?
asking.
I could have told you that 2 hours ago.
Are there any films that like you think? Because obviously you've said games. Why are they scarier than films? But are there any films we can think of that like
What they can match.
are scarier than games? Like that? Like there are some really scary films.
There's I mean, new ones I can think of. The Innkeepers is brilliant. That
What
scared
about
me
what's that?
a lot.
The one with Timothy Oliphant. What's that one?
Hitman.
No.
Deadwood.
Scary.
I am
bad.
number 4.
It's probably not any of these.
I
I
saw a
don't
bit
really
of
know
that.
many Tim
Well,
Oliphant
it starts
things.
in a baseball field. That's all I can remember from the trailer. I haven't watched it. I've just heard it's scary.
Gone in 60 seconds.
Field of Dreams.
Um,
Could be a while.
I could be wrong here,
well,
actually.
well,
No, all
we've
these
got lots
guesses.
of Timothy Oliphant movies. So
that wasn't a Tim
keep
Oliphant.
going.
It just starts in
Is
the
that
face.
the-
we were
the
giving him
something,
real
I don't know.
ones.
Insidious is another fairly new, fairly good scary.
I started it and couldn't get through it because it was
It's more cliche, but
so cliche.
the problem we've
Dylan.
had is that
Is it
scary
Strangers?
films.
I don't know, Loz. I haven't seen it.
I've seen The Strangers. It's terrible. Oh, are you thinking of The Crazies?
The Crazies, not the Strangers, yeah. The Crazies, is that scary?
It was all right. Yeah, it was okay.
I just heard it was scary.
But I mean, obviously, we had the scariest things like The Shining, The Exorcist, back in the day, and now it's tougher to scare audience in cinemas.
I thought.
I thought Blair Witch was scary
that's
first
what
time I
was
saw
gonna
it.
say, Blair Witch.
Paranormal Activity, the first one.
I watch them now.
That game you talked about earlier, what's it called again? Slender. That reminds me a little bit of Blair Witch, just from what I've seen of it.
Yeah.
Very much like shaky cam in
Yeah,
woods. And a weird monster.
Yep.
It's just Blair Witch. Wait a minute. There's nothing original about this game at all.
I guess what I'll say is that scary movies, especially when I was young, they did stay with me. I'd think about them a lot, afterwards, especially when you're younger and you see a dark shadow in your room and you're like, what's hiding in that shadow? But I think the actual experience of playing a scary game is infinitely more terrifying.
The effects don't last as long.
Yeah, so
That's a
good point.
Yeah.
I think TV lasts longer, but games are scarier.
Yeah, you
while
don't
you're playing them.
finish playing Dead Space and then like
Yeah,
sort of
and then
creeping
you-
around your
yeah.
room like
Yeah.
obviously, but for us it is a bit different because like Chris is mentioning, it's talking about when we're like 10 and watching horror films the first time, whereas but no, even still, I still when I watch
still
horror
like-
films, I still get a bit like I'll watch a horror film and then I'll look outside and see how dark
Yeah.
it is. I think
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to go outside. Whereas when you finish Dead Space, it's just like get
Yeah,
ready
you
for
turn
bed
it off
now,
and
yeah.
you're done. Whereas the
So
movie
that's
stays
a
with
very
you
good
longer.
point.
it's a different kind of scare, because with films, obviously, you've got actors, their expressions, which obviously we're still a ways away from from representing in games, direction, and in a lot of cases, a stronger story. And yeah, they do stay with you. So yeah, watch Innkeepers. It's just come out. It's very scary. I thought it was anyway. Go and see The Woman in Black. The play. The new movie is decent enough, but go see the play, and play Slender. and that's
I might play Xenoblade
that's the
Games tonight.
yeah, you should, Steve.
I'm really interested. Like, it's just because I saw it on IGN today, and I was like, I just assumed this game wasn't coming out for ages, and in fact, it's already out. It's like,
You don't have an excuse not to since it's free, so get home and play it. So yes,
I'm a big
On
coward. How about that excuse? I can't play Amnesia.
We all like
Is it on Steam or can you just download it?
it's not okay. So I had to find a few mirror downloads because apparently the website is just like all the traffic has crashed their website. But you can easily find it if you Google Slender download. You can get it on Mac or PC. It's not through Steam, but yeah, it's free. So go and grab it. But that's our little chat about scary games and films. Thank you very much for listening to episode 29 of the Ready Game Fire podcast. The deadline for voting for us in the Games Media Awards is fast approaching. I believe it's the 20th of July. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 20th. So please email gma@intentmedia.co.uk and say something along the lines of, I would like to lobby for Ready Game Fire to win the best podcast category. Thank you very much. We need your support, so please help us and go and do that now. It takes 2 minutes. Follow us on Twitter, Ready Game Fire. Like us on Facebook, Ready Game Fire. Our email address, if you want to send any thoughts, feelings, or queries to us that we'll read out on air, it's contact@readygamefire.co.uk. And finally, but not leastly, rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes. We need more reviews and ratings, so please get on that. Well, I'm exhausted. It's goodbye from me, Chris Fox. Goodbye from Kent Sobey.
Bye.
Goodbye from Loz Hart.
That's debatable.
And goodbye from Steve Edwards.
I thought you said someone else. Yeah, bye.
See you, pals.
Masturbable.
That's what I thought you said. I was like, why, Loz? Why?
Why would I say that?
Why have you introduced that one?
Obscene.